Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
Do Andromedan babies, when they are born, remember everything from their previous incarnations, or do they need to learn things like how to walk and talk, etc.? Yeah, what comes from our soul and what comes from our physical?
Okay, here's what I know. I've never been present for the birth of an Andromedan child, but what I have been told is that they're all born in water, and yes, they have full recognition of who they were before they came in. And as they grow and mature physically and mentally, there are some things that they have to learn. For example, however much time it was when they were not in the physical form, as far as the law of consistency. In other words, however, let's say that they have not been in part of the Andromedan civilization. I'll use that as an example. The Andromedan civilization for, let's say, 350 years in their time between physical incarnations. They would have to make that up. And the A's do that. The youngest, as they're growing up, are taught everything that is now present. It is called the law of consistency. Okay? They don't say, okay, well, you can't learn about this information because you're not part of a black project, or you are not a science teacher. So, you know, these sciences are restricted to pharmaceutical companies or to aerospace companies. They don't do any of that crap. Okay? Everybody is the same. Everybody learns what is real now and present. Okay? This is why these benevolent civilizations are so strong. They don't handicap their own race, their own people. It's insanity to do something like this.
They don't
set it up for failure. It is just nuts. And the children learn all this, yes. You know, their children are probably far smarter than anyone on this planet.
I remember you saying that they don't even get out of school till they're 70.
They go to school for 150 years, our time. Yes.
Do you think? How do you think CERN will play out? Is the thing? And do you know their intention? What I mean, because like you say, the lie is different at every level. What do you think are the different levels that they're lying to us on? And what do you think is their their true intention for this?
For CERN?
Yeah, for CERN, and the idea that there's a
as far as the lie in different levels, I'm not sure exactly what they've been told, but I believe, and this is my own personal opinion, is that they've been given a toy, and they really think that they're looking for something else, even though it may turn out to be something else. I think that they've given us many toys that we didn't know really what to do or how to use, knowing that we're an enormously curious and a driven race to want to know more. I think that they have taken advantage of that in some cases, and we may be messing with something that we absolutely shouldn't. I will tell you this, that if something goes very badly array or goes wrong, don't be surprised if it just shuts down, it breaks down, or they just take the whole thing away. It just like goes away. It vanishes. Because they are not going to, the benevolence I'm talking about, they are not going to let these idiots do something stupid that hurts all of us, or even hurts other star systems, other races, and creates other problems within their density. Here they're trying to patch it up and heal it and raise its frequency. They're not going to let anyone interfere with that any longer. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it plays out. I honestly don't know at this point. But I was told that they were trying to merge timelines, and that simply isn't going to be allowed. In fact, that's already been shut down.
Thank you. Merging timelines. Do you want to? Because there was. Is this to do with what Dan Burish was talking about several years ago, and the Project Yellow Book, where they kept seeing they had this device that they could look into the future, and it kept on flickering from one future to another, very different futures. Is that what you're talking about just then?
Yes. Those were artificial timelines. Okay, where we are is an original real-time timeline, and this is where the changes are going to be. This is where we're going to evolve. They're not letting, in other words, they're not going to let anybody out of here that is trying to escape. Okay? This is where it ends for the regressive forces that are here. It ends in this timeline.
And does that end? Does that mean that it ends the future that everybody was living in? This is the future that everybody was living in.
What future is that? We're creating that as we speak.
This is from Beck. Can you talk more about dreams? Does your soul leave your body when you sleep? Do you dream every night? Do you go back to your soul family? I imagine one. How can your dreams help with your purpose and joy in life?
Well, that's an outstanding question. I think on some level everyone dreams. When somebody says, I never have a dream, I just simply don't think that's true. I think there's just a part of them that has flipped the switch, and they choose not to remember it, or they're not meant to. As far as people leaving their bodies, I think if you are in a dream and you have the conscious recognition that you're in a dream, you are in fact out of your body. And you are capable of traveling at that point. Now, the Toltecs have done this. They're very, very good at this. They will actually learn to send their dreaming body to different places, irregardless of time and space. They are able to do this, to get information, to get answers, to help, and or to manipulate a situation. With positive intent, of course. Okay? In so doing that, you are traversing fourth and fifth density, from what I understand. And there are hazards if you don't know your way around. Oftentimes, especially in lower fourth, you will see things or beings who are not as they appear to be. And it's been my personal experience that when I'm in situations like that and someone is attempting to communicate to me, the first thing I do is I look at them and I stick my pinky out and I say, show me your true self. And they have to show you. And if it isn't someone I recognize, a soul I recognize, I'm out of there. I change the dream immediately and I go someplace else. And you have the power to do that. Okay? My point is this. You don't need to look for a master, okay? You already are. God, I hate that word. You're enlightened. You don't need to find somebody far more enlightened than you. You already are enlightened. You just need to remember where that information is, where that part of you is. That's what you need to connect with. As far as doing dreams, you can clean up a lot of karma, you can do rites, but you have to learn to do that, and there's a process. I do not and would never, ever suggest anyone ever use Ekankar to do anything like that. There are many books, but basically self-experimentation is the best. Now, when you are out of your body, when you're dreaming, and you know you're in the dream, and you're capable of going anywhere you want, that's your dreaming body. Learn to work with that. Okay? There's lots of books about it. There's a lot of information out there. And if you're ever out there and you have to be very, very specific. I want to meet a being that has only my highest intent. I want to meet someone who has only my highest intent. You have to be really specific and check who they are, okay? There's a lot more to that issue, and that would burn up the rest of the time. But I'll make a note of that, and we can talk about that in the next webinar. I think that's a really good one, because a lot more people are experiencing incredible dreams and out-of-body experiences. And I think it's really good that we talk about that. Excellent question. Excellent question.
Here's a question, and this is another question on it's asked at a particular level. So let's look at this. And we were talking about, again, this word before, is the word system, which comes from the Roman word for sewer. So now, if we substitute the word sewer, have the Andromedans give you any tips on how to abolish the monetary sewer? Would the end of the monetary sewer be a fatal blow to the Illuminati? I think the question almost answers itself.
I would have to say, for the most part, it would go in tandem with fear, with created and managed fear. If we could eliminate these two elements, yeah, I think humanity would make a huge leap. Now, what does life look like without a monetary system? You know, we have some history of here on Earth of where, you know, people lived off the grid, and they raised their own food, they bartered services and things. At this point, that's the only model. Now, for humanity to make the leap together and join the galactic community, again, I would have to say at this point, I don't know that we know how to do that by ourselves. I would think some mentorship would be needed in order to teach us how to release the monetary system and all the fears that go with it, to embrace living a true and authentic free life. I think that there is some mentoring that would have to accompany that transition, you know, because we haven't done it. None of us have done it here that I'm aware of, you know, that are native to Earth.
Would you explain a bit further about the differences between the masculine energies and feminine energies that we are moving into, and how that will manifest and affect us? Great question.
Okay, well, we're moving out of the masculine energy into the feminine principle, which of course is nurturing and more healing. And if you were to look at the galaxy as a plate, on the top part of the plate where you would currently put your food, that would rest as the masculine. That which is underneath where the food goes would be the feminine. We're crossing that plane, and we're moving down into the feminine. This happens to help heal humanity. And what it also does is it reunites humanity, because we move back into the feminine principle and we let go of the war principle. Now, you have to understand that during the time of Atlantis, after many of the races left in the war that occurred during Atlantis, we were offered protection, but that protection never manifested. So really rogue and aggressive groups came in here and basically tweaked humanity, okay, in the worst kind of a way. That's all going away. And you know, they had their run, it's over. And so that's what has to happen.
Alex, is time absolute or relative? Some days feel like they go very quickly and others very slow. Why is this?
I think time is relative to whatever somebody thinks it is. Depending upon your focus on time or your lack of focus on time, that's how time exists. Okay? To say that time is an absolute, no, it is not an absolute. It is a construct that many lower dimensional existences use in order to measure change, in order to manage and to measure change. The A's don't live in time anywhere close to we do. In fact, you know, when there was a period where I spent time on their mothership, the women were concerned because they thought I was ill or sick because I needed to sleep so much. I needed to take so many naps. And that is because, to give you an example, one of their days, and God, this was many, many years ago, so unless it's changed, one of their days was equivalent to 33 of our days. So,
I see.
So, you know, they're in one day, and they can't understand why I need to sleep so much.
Oh, bless. So it's like, you know, you'd spend a month in one of their days.
Yes.
And is that because of the dimension? Is that because of fifth dimension? Or because they're planetary rotations?
It's their perspective on reality. It is the intention that their race has in creating their reality.
Right. So they actually they're creating their own time in which you're stepping into.
And this is why many races that visit the planet live for thousands of years.
Oh, I see. So that's why it appears that the gods are immortal.
And that's because they have a completely different construct of time. You know, why would they look and say, like we do here, the average life expectancy of a man is, what, 74 or 72 or 71, and a woman is 76, 78. Why would we even program that into our heads? Right? But that's what they do to us all the time.
That's right. And it's, you know, part of that book thing.
Yes.
So
it's part of that enslavement thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Let them live long enough to consume and to be good little slaves, but not long enough where they figure everything out.
Yeah, because you know, I'm in my late 50s and I'm starting to figure things out, and now it's like it's not too late because I can speak.
And now you start thinking about mortality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's a raw deal. It really is.
Do the Andromedans have animals as companions, similar to how we keep human pets? Or do animals ever roam free on their ships?
Both. Both. The answer is simultaneous. Animals adopt in their world. I'm not aware, on the motherships, they wouldn't have anything that was feral, something completely wild, that, of course, would be a harm to others. But the animals on their craft, particularly the mother crafts, I can't speak about the homeworld because I haven't actually been to the homeworld. Well, hi. The animals are in harmony with not only the nature of the ship, but the harmony of the people. And essentially what happens is that the animals choose to adopt specific beings for a specific period of time. Many times they will integrate with children during the learning circles. Many times, if there's an adult who is recuperating from an injury or something that has occurred, whether it's emotional or not, and they are choosing to be out in nature, their nature, the animals will come and keep them comfort for that time, and then we'll move on. It's an amazingly symbiotic relationship from what I've witnessed, and it is not all that different from how cats and dogs integrate or have a relationship with us. Especially cats. Cats choose. They do.
Exactly.
Yeah, they choose. Cats choose. So it isn't all that different. Their animals are completely different than ours. They do have male and females, sexes. They do have a type of feline species. I wouldn't say that they have a canine species. I've not seen anything closely resembling that, but they have other things that are just so difficult to describe. They're different. They're really different. But they show affection nonetheless. Okay?
It's very interesting about the whole idea of, like, do they have the equivalent of a dog, which is a very like a loyal loyal companion, like dogs are. Cats are not so close to us.
Well,
So do they have that kind of thing? But they obviously, we use dogs for hunting, so they don't do hunting, do they?
No, they're fruitarians. So, but they have this bird-like thing with long, gangly legs that, could sort of act like a dog, like a canine being protective, and it will position itself in front of something that maybe it feels is suspicious or alarming, or an event that's alarming. It will position itself instinctively in front. But there is nothing on Earth in any way, shape, or form that even resembles it. And it makes some kind of a squealing sound when it moves into that space. And it's ear-piercing. At least it was to me. It was very ear-piercing. So, it may act like a canine, but it's not in any way, shape, or form a canine. No.
Excellent. Thank you. You don't know what it's called, do you?
No.
Oh, of course, because they don't have names, do they?
Symbols, but not all the symbols translate into the English language.
Exactly.
They just don't.
Are some of the Taal actually a great part of the sleeping majority of humanity, especially in America too?
God, I sure hope so.
There are they.
And I don't mean that America's more important than the rest of the world. That's not what I'm saying at all. But when I say I hope so, it's because we have enormous problems here in America. And it's only now truly begin to be magnified as to just how dire our situation is internally. So I hope so, and I hope they wake up pretty soon. Because I think America is important to the planet, just as China is, just as Russia is. I think we all have equal importance, and I think we all can learn so much from each other. There are a lot of Taal here, though. This much I do know. I don't know if they're all asleep or a majority of them are still not awake. Maybe they are awake and they're hiding. I don't know how to answer that question. But I am told that they do and will know who they are.
Okay, more Taal questions. From Mason. Alex, if the Taal are from a higher density, such as 10 or 11, how is it that they could have warred with the reptilians? Is there a technology that allows the reptilians to reach into higher densities for military purposes?
No, again, they have fallen. The Taal have fallen into time, into third density. I'm not aware that they're in fourth or fifth. But in coming in and taking physical form, you are engaging in the process of this frequency. And that also includes fully engaging in the process of freedom. So, no, as far as I know, there are not. There are virtually no differences in the higher frequencies above 8, I believe. In fact, I think from 9th, 10th up, there isn't even sexes. Okay, there isn't even a difference of sex. So but that question is not accurate. There is no war on those levels. Those beings have come down here to make a difference, to adjust their density so that our frequency, our density can reconnect to the ascension process of the universe, of the galaxy. All right? It is like the weight of a tire. It's like a tire on your car. When it's not properly balanced, it wobbles, and it gets worse and worse and worse, right? That means that it's out of sync, and what it does is it causes everything else in the car to be completely out of whack. Well, basically, they're coming in here to balance so that everything begins to move harmoniously, energetically, effortlessly, in a frequency that engages ascension.
Do the Andromedans have any significance about like groups of 12 or groups of 9? You know, we always hear about these councils of 9 and is that just fake, or are there actual you know, like Y12 sort of thing?
Well, you know, there are councils, there are groups that meet, there are dignitaries from different star systems that meet in different places. I assume that there are councils or meetings, groups of beings. Is there any significance to the number? That I don't know. I've learned a long time ago that many things that we hold to be very mystical here are not necessarily mystical at all. We have put a significance to it because of something we were taught that isn't a reality for other star systems or other races. It only has significance to us because we've attached a significance to it. That doesn't make it universal.
Alex, is it important to know your soul family? And if so, how does one go about finding out?
You know, that's an interesting question. And the only way that I can respond to that is that, you know, there are many, many times in life where you meet someone and you already know you know them. It's a recognition. And Visayas once made a comment regarding love. And he said love is just a recognition of having known someone before and had a trusting relationship with them before. That's kind of what love is. But of course, you know, they experience it much different than we do, and I can't express that to you because, you know, I've not had that actual experience myself of experiencing love on fifth density. I don't know what that is. But this was his perspective. And then there was someone here on Earth who who said that the best definition of love that I've ever heard, me personally, is that love is friendship on fire. And I think when you have that, or when you recognize someone and you build an instant bond, that's clearly a soul family. Those are people that you have known before. Okay? And I certainly have had that experience. But, you know, my circle of close best friends is relatively small. You know, it's 5 or 6. And I'm blessed to have those 5 or 6. I have many people that I really appreciate, that I know, that I associate with every day. You know, but I'm still learning who they are. I haven't seen all their faces yet. And we've talked about that before. You know, until I know all their faces and they know all my faces, you know, we're still learning each other. We're discovering who each other is. But that recognition that initial recognition comes, I think, from a soul knowing that we have known this person, this being before.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.